Hello my dears, how are you all? So today we are going to discuss about very important session in control system. So we already completed the root orbit stability criteria. 1 mark sure question, that means one question will be sure from that area because it's that much important. And today we are going to discuss another important session that is already in your syllabus. Root locus actually not in your syllabus, and that too, it's actually the problem associated with the root locus is at least 2-3 pages will be there. So for competitive examination point of view, root locus is not an important topic, my dears. So I am going to skip it now because it is not in your syllabus. Then why we want to waste time? Okay, first we have to complete our syllabus. Okay, then later on we can move to what the other miscellaneous topics and all. Okay, so as of now, root locus is not in your syllabus, and also in the syllabus it is clearly mentioned, if any topic rather than the given syllabus, if it is come in the examination, the authorities will not be able to respond, because it may happen. The out of syllabus question also may happen. But regarding root locus, the root locus is actually a problem, is a 2-page problem actually. If you are doing, or if you already completed BTech, then you will clearly know that at least 1 hour you have to take in order to plot a root locus. So the problems associated with the root locus is actually very less compared to other topic. Okay, so and also it is not in your syllabus, so we will go to the topics which are in your syllabus, which is nothing but polar plot. So polar plot is nothing but, my dear, this plot is used to analyze closed loop transfer function, but uses open loop transfer function. Here we are using, or here we are utilizing the open loop transfer function, but we can analyze the closed loop transfer function by using the open loop transfer function also, because once you know the open loop transfer function g of gh, g of gh divided by 1 plus gs will be simply the closed loop transfer function. So if somewhat you know about the open loop transfer function analysis, then closed loop transfer function can be, you can take, or you can get a knowledge about the closed loop transfer function also, but it cannot be used to find the stability. That is very, very important. Ability of closed loop transfer function. Used to analyze the closed loop transfer function means not the stability. That you have to note down. Except stability, any other things can be find out. That we will do in the problem. No, you will clear. What are the other? Okay, what are other? That you will clear. So it cannot be used to find the stability of closed loop system, since it is not a complete plot. Not a complete plot. And for the analysis of closed loop transfer function, my dears, we are using Nyquist stability or Nyquist plot, simply Nyquist plot. So Nyquist plot is actually a full plot. That means it gives everything regarding the closed loop transfer function. But polar plot is somehow a plot which it can be utilized for, definitely it will give the stability of open loop transfer function, definitely it will give, but closed loop transfer function, stability of the closed loop transfer function we can't plot using, or we can't analyze using the polar plot. But open loop transfer function stability it can be easily analyzed, and other things also can be analyzed. That means the corner frequency, the cutting point, etc., everything you can calculate. But the stability we can't calculate, because it is not a complete plot. It is not a complete plot. And what is a polar plot, my dear? Polar plot is a plot connecting frequency omega equal to 0 to infinity versus magnitude and phase angle. That means in polar plot what we are going to do, we have to vary the frequency from omega equal to 0 to omega equal to infinity. These all are frequency plots, my dear. Frequency but response or frequency analysis na, for under that frequency analysis category it all come. Frequency analysis is nothing but changing the frequency from omega to 0 to infinity and observe the system, that's all. Frequency analysis. Okay. Changing the frequency and observe the system, that's all. That is the frequency analysis. Changing the frequency means you can add poles, you can change the frequency na, you can add zeros, you can change the frequency na. So everything is connected to the frequency. You are adding poles or adding zero, everything connected to frequency. Frequency analysis means if you add some poles, if you add some zero, what will be the nature of the system, that's all. That you have to observe, that you have to analyze. That is the meaning of frequency response. Okay, simple. So polar plot is nothing but a plot connecting by what? Taking omega to 0 to infinity, and we have to observe what is the phase angle, what is the magnitude, that's all. You have to change the frequency from omega to 0 to omega to infinity. So in polar plot we just plot two, we just draw two plot, my dear. First one, two plot, not actually 2 points. Omega to 0 1 point you have to consider, and omega to infinity also you have to consider. That is why 0 to infinity means 0, 0, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. to infinity. No. We just consider what is omega to 0 and what is at omega to infinity, that's all. That is why it is given that it is not a complete plot, because it just gives omega to 0 and omega 0. What happens in between, the complete analysis of the system, it doesn't give. It doesn't give. That is why it is called, it is not a complete plot, it is an incomplete plot. Okay, but it is a syllabus, so we have to study. Okay. So that is the polar plot, my dear. So how can we find, or how can we draw a polar plot? So that we can explain by using an example. So through the example itself, through the problem itself, we will learn the steps for drawing the polar plot. Okay, my dears. So let's write a question. Okay, let's do a question. Let's do a question. Write a question, my dear. GH is equal to S plus 1 divided by S plus 2 into S plus 3. Okay, so this is my GH. So GH means what, my dear? Open loop transfer function, right? GH means nothing but open loop transfer function. So always for drawing the polar plot, you need an open loop transfer function. That you have to remember all the time. Okay, always you need the open loop transfer function in order to plot the what, my dear? In order to plot the polar plot. That you have to remember all the time. So what is the first step, my dear? First you have to find, so GH you have now put S is equal to J omega. That is the first step. So it will become, GH will be equal to 1 plus J omega whole divided by 2 plus J omega into 3 plus J omega. That is the first step. Now put S is equal to J omega is the first step. So that you have to do. So what you will do, GH equal to 1 plus J omega and 2 plus J omega. And what is the magnitude of GH? What is the magnitude of GH, my dear? So magnitude of GH will be simply represented by M. I can represent by M. Okay, magnitude of GH I can represent by M, and which is nothing but, my dear, what is the magnitude here? Magnitude at numerator, 1 plus omega square, right now? Root of 1 plus omega square divided magnitude at numerator, 4 plus omega square, root of 9 plus omega square. Am I right? How can we find the magnitude? A plus JB. What is the magnitude? A plus JB. What is the magnitude? Root of A square plus B square. That's all. That's all. Okay. So that's why I have written all this. So root of 1 plus omega square divided by 4 plus omega square plus 9 plus omega square, that's all simple. And what is the phase? Angle of GH is I can represent by phi. Angle of GH I can represent by phi. Then what is the angle of the GH, my dear? Angle of numerator, what is that? Tan inverse omega by 1. Tan inverse A by B will be the angle, right? A plus JB format. What is the angle? Tan inverse B by A. So tan inverse omega by 1. A plus JB. What is the angle, my dear? Phi will be equal to what? Tan inverse B by A. Imaginary part by real part, that's all. Simple. So same you will obtain. So numerator angle, denominator angle is represented to numerator side by minus tan inverse omega by 2 minus tan inverse omega by 3. Is it clear, my dear? So that's all about phi. So at omega equal to 0, at omega equal to 0 at omega equal to 0, what happens? Let's see. At omega equal to 0, what is magnitude, my dear? At omega equal to 0 means magnitude means 1 plus 0 square divided by root of 4 plus 0 square into root of 9 plus 0 square. Correct, na? So it will become what, my dears? It will become 1 divided by 2 into 3. So simply 1 by 6. Okay, so that is the magnitude. And what is the phi or phase angle at omega equal to 0? At omega equal to 0, we have to find both magnitude as well as phase. So magnitude you obtained 1 by 6, and phase, what is that? Tan inverse 0 minus tan inverse 0 minus tan inverse 0 is equal to what? Tan inverse 0 and 1 tan inverse will cancel, minus tan inverse 0. What is that? Tan inverse 0 is what, my dear? Sin 0 by cos 0. It's a tan inverse 0. Correct, na? So it will be, sorry, sin 90 by cos 90 will be infinity, and tan inverse 0 sin 0 by cos 0. Okay, you can find in that way, right? Correct, na? So phi will be equal to 0 degree. So what the confusion? Okay, so at omega equal to 0, you got both magnitude as well as the phase angle. Next at omega equal to infinity, my dear, at omega equal to infinity, what is magnitude? At omega equal to infinity, what is magnitude? Substitute in this 1 plus root of 1 plus infinity square divided by root of 1 plus infinity square into root of 1 plus infinity square. Correct, na? Correct, na? So what is the highest, I mean the power of infinity is higher in numerator or denominator? It is in denominator. So 1 by infinity is what, my dear? 0. So magnitude will be 0. And what is phase angle now? Phase angle is nothing but, my dear, substitute omega equal to infinity. So tan inverse infinity minus tan inverse infinity minus tan inverse infinity. So 1 and 1 tan inverse infinity cancel. Tan inverse infinity is what, my dear? Sin 90 by cos 90. 90, na? So it will be minus 90 degree. So minus 90 degree. Is it clear? Is it clear? So can we draw the plot by, so what will be our polar plot now? Polar plot will be what? The plot is nothing but, my dear, you have to take the axis like this. You have to mark the angle first. 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. And in clockwise also. 0, minus 90, minus 180 and minus 270. Both are same, na? In anti-clockwise it is 0, 90 in this manner. In clockwise it is 90 minus 90 in this manner. So this is the angle axis. 0, 360, 90 or minus 270, 180 or minus 180, 270 or minus 90. This is the angle axis. Now see, at omega equal to 0, my dear, at omega equal to 0, or the initial point, I can say that, what is the magnitude? What is the magnitude? At omega equal to 0, what is the magnitude? 1 by 6. And what is the phase angle? 0. So I have to draw, my dear, at 0 degree, the initial condition, the magnitude is nothing but, my dear, 1 by 6. The magnitude is 1 by 6. That you have to note. Okay. So until this it is clear. Until this it is clear, my dear. So okay. So now we have to find the starting and the ending direction. So first one is starting direction. Starting direction. What is the rule for determining the starting direction? So first rule is that you can mark like first rules. If open loop pole is near to origin, then starting direction is clockwise. And second rule, if open loop 0 is near to origin, then starting direction is anti-clockwise. Okay. And third rule, zeros or poles at the origin not to be considered. Zeros or pole at the origin is need not be considered. So this is the starting direction criteria. If the open loop pole is near to the origin, then we can say that the starting direction will be clockwise. If open loop 0 is near to origin, then the starting direction will be anti-clockwise. If zeros or poles are at the origin, you need not to consider the zeros or pole at the origin. So at the origin you just blink your eyes. You need not to consider that. You just consider near the origin what is happening. That's all. Is it clear? So that's all of the starting direction. So now we are going to move the ending direction. Okay. What is the ending direction? Because for every plot there will be a starting and there will be an ending direction. Okay. So ending direction. Ending direction. That means angle of GH at omega equal to 0 minus angle of GH at omega equal to infinity equal to positive, then clockwise. The ending direction will be clockwise, and angle of GH at omega equal to 0, simply here itself you can write, and equal to negative, then it will be anti-clockwise. Okay. It is initial step. That means the first problem itself you feel very difficult, my dear. You feel very difficult, I know that, but later on after we are doing 2-3 problems continuously, these things will be automatically come to your mind. Everything will be clear. Okay, don't worry. I know you are tensed now because it is very difficult to understand. Sir is saying something, we are completely unaware of it. Yes, I know that, but patiently observe this, patiently do the problems. Finally you will get everything. Okay. And one more thing I want to tell you, my dear. So many students are there who are actually requested me to take the classes in Malayalam. Okay. Why I couldn't take the classes in Malayalam means, one reason is that my aim is to spread the knowledge. Even if a small knowledge I have, okay, I want to spread it to everywhere, not only on the regional basis. See, Malayalis, regional basis. We are all Malayalis, right? So I don't want to spread my knowledge to only the regional people. That means nothing, or my Keralas. Okay, I want to spread everywhere, because everywhere students are there. Who can't able to pay very huge fees for particular coaching. So that's my aim. And second thing, why you people requesting to take the classes in Malayalam? I know that you have to easily understand things, right? You have to easily understand things. Even if you are taking a cup of tea, then also the things will be very easily understand, and you don't want to take a hard work, right? You don't want to focus much more because it is easily available. Suppose we are seeing a movie in Malayalam. Suppose we are in a kitchen also, you can easily follow with the story, right? Even in kitchen or even in we are outdoor. Suppose you simply listen the story, right? You can flow with the stories because that much familiar the language is. But as far as the concern of English or Hindi or other languages, you have to keenly observe it. You have to completely devote your focus. That means first you have to know what the sir is saying, okay, and second what concept he is saying, what concept he says, and first one what sir actually says. So you have to double focusing power need. You have the power of double focusing. So first you have to understand the language, and second you have to learn the concept. That is why you are all saying, sir, it is very easy for us to take if you take in Malayalam. But I tell you one thing, my dears, if the things are very easy in your hands, if the things are easily available everywhere, you don't have value. You don't value it actually. If you really want the concept, you really want the knowledge, then at anyhow you will struggle it, at anyhow you will grasp it, and at anyhow you will try to learn it. That's my idea. Okay, that's my idea. So two benefits are here. First one, your hard work nature will increase. Second one, your friends also get benefited if it is not in Malayalam, right? If someone is someone is there in any corner of the world, they can also access this and they can also understand the concept. Even if my knowledge is very less, even if I know that it's all are very less knowledge. Very few knowledge I am delivering you. But then also, if it is in English means everyone can grab it. Okay, so that's my aim, ideas. That's why. So okay, come back to our point. And one student commented me, sir, initially I got very struggle while following your classes because it's in English. But later on, I strongly determined I have to learn thing. I have to learn thing means I have to hard work. I have to take it as a risk and I have to take it as a challenge. Then in keeping that in mind, I started again watch. Again. So then I could understand. So now, that student is actually fine. He or she is cope up with what I am saying. Okay, so that's all. That's the only advice I am going to give you. So please don't let it. Drop it. Please don't drop it. These things are very difficult, my dear. I don't know, even in your BTech classes, the sir explained in this much in simple manner. I don't know. Maybe some some teachers are there who is really dedicated and who is exactly knowing the concept and they are delivering to you. But 80% of the teachers know. They will simply draw it and they clearly, but definitely they know the concept, definitely, because their teacher, definitely they know the concept, but in how much easy manner we are going to deliver to the students is very important. Is it clear? That 70% or 80% of the teachers are not doing. I think so. Okay, so please follow it, don't drop it, take it as a challenge and continue your learning. Okay, come back, my dear. So ending direction is nothing but, my dear, see, at omega equal to 0, what is the angle? 0. At omega equal to infinity, what is the angle? Minus 90 degree. Subtract this from this. This minus this give you a positive angle. Then the ending direction will be clockwise. This minus this will be negative angle. Then your Anti-clockwise. Ending direction will be anti-clockwise. That's all. So now you have the idea. Can we draw? Can we draw the polar plot? Can we draw the polar plot, my dear? Can we draw the polar plot? So what is my starting direction? Starting direction can be obtained by see whether there is open loop, pole is near the origin, or open loop 0 is near the origin. In the question it is given that s plus 1 divided by s plus 2 into s plus 3 na? S plus 1, so 0 is near the origin. Numerator contain s plus 1. Put s plus 1 is equal to 0, s is equal to minus 1, and 0 is the near the origin. Denominator s plus 2 equal to 0 means minus 2 is the pole, and s plus 3 equal to 0 means minus 3 is the pole, and nothing is, and those two poles now it is not near to the origin, but 0 is near to the origin, because when we equate numerator to 0, s plus 1 is equal to 0 na? Correct. S plus 1 na? Yes, s plus 1. S plus 1 to 0, we will obtain what? S equal to minus 1, which is nothing but a 0 near the origin. Since 0 is near the origin, my dear, the starting direction will be anti-clockwise. The starting direction will be anti-clockwise. And what about the ending direction, my dear? What about the ending direction? Since the ending direction gives the angle at omega equal to 0 is 0, angle at omega equal to infinity is minus 90. So the difference in angle here is will be in question difference in angle will be 0 minus 90. 0 minus 90, it will be plus 90. Since it is plus means ending direction will be what? Ending direction will be plus means clockwise. Is it clear? And what is the ending? So the starting magnitude is 1 by 6, starting angle is 0. Am I right, my dear? So this is the 0 axis now. So starting angle is 0, starting magnitude is 1 by 6. And what is the ending magnitude, my dear? Ending magnitude will be 0. Magnitude will be 0, and the ending angle will be minus 90. What is minus 90, my dear? This is minus 90. So this will be the polar plot, and ending angle will be what, my dear? Clockwise. Correct na? So it will be clockwise. Clockwise, and this is clockwise. It is clockwise. No, this is clockwise. This is the starting direction anti-clockwise, and ending direction. This is ending now. This is ending now. So this is ending means this ending also goes to clockwise, because see, this is the direction, my dear. Starting direction, see the starting, it is anti-clockwise. I am rotating in anti-clockwise now. This portion I am rotating in anti-clockwise, correct? But see this portion I am rotating in clockwise now. That is why the arrow is upward. Carefully observe the arrow, my dear. Definitely the continuation will be the arrow, we know that, but for your understanding, this is the starting portion and this is the ending portion. Separately do this. This is the ending and this is the starting. In starting we are doing in anti-clockwise. In ending we are doing in clockwise. That's all. Here ending we are using what, my dear? Clockwise. And minus 90 is the ending. See, minus 90 I am ending. Correct na? Minus 90 I am ending. And in this polar plot, particularly you observe one thing, my dear. This is nothing but a crossing point, my dear. This is nothing but a crossing point. So what will be the crossing point? What will be the crossing point or cutting point? What will be the cutting point? This is a big question actually, but a part of this may be asked. A part of this may be asked. Shortly I can write this is 180 or minus 180. Both D will be here. Okay. So cutting point. How can we find the cutting point, my dear? How can we find the cutting point? Okay. And see one thing very interesting in the cutting point area, my dear. Cutting point, the imaginary part here will be 0 now, because this is an s axis and this is the j omega axis, that you all know, right? This is s axis and this is j omega axis. And one thing you observe in this j omega axis, suppose this is s axis and this is j omega axis, you can consider at this point, my dear, the real part will be something there and imaginary part here will be 0, correct na? For x-axis the imaginary part will be 0, for y-axis the real part will be 0. So since it's crossing the x-axis, my dear, we can say that the imaginary part will be 0 there. So how can we find it? Means we have gh is equal to what, my dear? 1 plus j omega whole divided by 2 plus j. Okay, I can say like this. 1 plus j omega into that denominator. Now I am going to expand it, my dear. So it will be, I think, s plus 2 into s plus 3. Am I right? And numerator is same. Okay, s plus 1. Okay, what I'm going to expand it, my dear. S plus 1 whole divided by s square plus 3s plus 2s plus 6, correct na? So it is nothing but s plus 1 divided by s square plus 5s plus 6, correct na? So what I obtain, my dear, gh, put s, now s is equal to j omega, okay? 1 plus j omega whole divided by j omega square plus 5 into j omega plus 6. Or simplify further, 1 plus j omega whole divided by j omega, j square is minus 1, j omega square means what, my dear? Minus 1, I mean j square is will be minus 1, so minus omega square plus j into 5 omega plus 6, correct na? Minus omega square correct, my dear? So it will be again simplifying, it will become 1 plus j omega whole divided by 6 minus omega square plus j into 5 omega. So it contains both real and imaginary terms. So you have to simplify. What we have to do, we have to cross multiply it with, we have to multiply it numerator and denominator with the conjugate of this, my dear. What will be a plus b, jb's conjugate, a minus jb. So what will be 6 minus omega square plus 5 j omega conjugate? It will become 6 minus omega square minus j into 5 omega divided by 6 minus omega square minus j into 5 omega. Am I correct, my dear? Am I correct? So it will become, what is the output will become? 6 minus omega square minus j into 5 omega plus multiply it 6 j omega minus j omega cube minus j square is minus 1, so plus 5 omega square whole divided by a plus b into a minus b is what, my dear? 6 minus omega square plus omega a square minus b square 5 omega square, correct? So you can simply directly write like 25 omega square because a square minus b square, correct na? Minus b square minus b is nothing but j also rare na, a plus b into a minus b na, so j square into 5 omega square, j square is minus 1, so it minus and minus get plus. So the denominator will be finally a plus b into a minus b, a square minus b square. So a square is 6 minus omega square the whole square minus b square means minus j into 5 omega the whole square. So j square is minus 1, so minus and minus gets plus, and 5 omega the whole square become 25 omega square. Is it clear, my dear? And is it clear, my dears? So up to now, is it okay na? So finally you go to what, my dear? GH will be equal to what? 6 minus omega square minus 6 minus j into 5 omega plus 6 j omega minus j omega cube plus 5 omega square, correct? And listen my dear. So at cutting point, imaginary part of GH will be what, my dear? 0. Or I can say that imaginary of GH, है ना? Imaginary of magnitude GH ना, simply or GH, imaginary GH will become 0. Implies, which means, what is the imaginary part here, my dears? Is the denominator contain any imaginary part? Because it contain all omega square and omega square. There is no j term in the denominator. Only imaginary part there in the numerator. So imaginary part will be 0. I already told you now. At the cutting point, my dear, there will be only real points. There will be only what, real terms. There is no imaginary term in the cutting point, my dear. So what will be here? So listen. So the imaginary point will be 0. So that I can say that minus 5 omega, correct na? So minus 5 omega plus 6 omega na? 6 omega minus omega cube, because all containing j term na, j term is there and j term is there, equal to what, my dear? 0. Or I can say that omega minus omega cube equal to 0, or omega into 1 minus omega square equal to 0, which implies omega equal to 0 or 1 minus omega square equal to 0 and omega equal to 1, omega equal to plus or minus 1. Correct na, my dear? Correct, my dear. So we have 3 values of omega now in our hand. One is omega equal to 0, other one is omega equal to plus 1, and other one is omega equal to minus 1. One is omega equal to minus 1. Omega equal to 0 we already considered, my dear. This is 1 by 6. So don't go for that. Omega equal to minus 1, is that possible? No, because we are changing the frequency from omega equal to 0 to omega equal to 1, my dears. So omega equal to minus 1 is not possible. So the only possibility is omega equal to 1 radian per second. That is the frequency. So we now got the frequency of the cutting point and not the magnitude of cutting point. Okay, remember, we got the frequency at the cutting point only. So how can we find the magnitude? How can we find the magnitude, my dear? So for finding the magnitude, can I draw this again? Okay. For finding the magnitude at cutting point, what we have to do? Substitute omega equal to 1 in real term in GH. What we have to do? Substitute omega equal to 1 in real terms, because imaginary terms is 0 now. So remaining will be the real terms will be there now. So one real answer will be there. So what is the real answer? Just to substitute omega equal to 1 in the real terms here. So the result will be what, my dear? GH will be 6 minus 1 plus 5 whole divided by 6 minus 1 the whole square plus 25. So answer will be what, my dear? 6 plus 5 11, 11 minus 1 10 divided by 25 plus 25. Can I correct? So it will be nothing but 10 by 15 or nothing but 1 by 5. 1 by 5. So the cutting point will be what, my dear? By 5. By 5. See the complete answer. See the complete answer. Every question we need not to find the crossing point. If it is crossing and question, if it is crossing and clearly mention what is the crossing point, then also you need to find it. Otherwise simply draw the curve, my dear. In examination this much difficult drawing will not be there. A simple drawing I will explain in the further questions. 2-3 lines you will get the plot. That type of plot will be asked for your examination, not this very big time. Why I did this means, initially itself you have to know the thing, how deep it is, how deep the analysis. You have to know that. That is why I gave a this much difficult question at first question itself. Okay, later on it will be very easy. Please note it. Okay, please note it, my dear. Please note it. Can we do one more problem? Can we do one more problem? So that is the completed polar plot. Write another question. GH will be equal to S plus 1 whole divided by S square into S plus 2 into S plus 3. Again, draw the polar plot. Okay. Draw the polar plot. How can we do this? Can we do this, my dears? First step is what? Put S is equal to j omega, right? So 1 plus j omega whole divided by j omega square into 2 plus j omega into 3 plus j omega. Am I correct, my dear? Am I correct? Okay. And what is the magnitude? Let be m, my dear. Magnitude, it is very easy, na? Em. Magnitude will be root of 1 plus omega square whole divided by j omega the whole square. What is the magnitude, my dear? It is nothing but 0 plus j omega the whole square. 0 plus j omega square. What will be the magnitude again? It will be simply omega square, my dear. Omega square, you check it. 0 plus j omega square. What will be the magnitude? Root of 0 plus j omega square again. Correct na? Or you can do it in this manner also. Easiest manner I can explain. Why I put omega square na? That you are doubt na? It is 0 plus j omega. So it will be j omega square means what, my dear? J square equal to minus 1. Correct na? So minus 1 into omega square. Okay, minus 1 into omega square. What is the magnitude of minus 1 into omega square? My magnitude only, simply omega square. So that's all, simply omega square into root of 4 plus omega square root of 9 plus omega square. Is it clear, my dears? Is it clear? Okay, so what is the phase angle, my dear? Phi. Focus on this. Tan inverse omega minus j omega square, my dear. So it will be something like, I can write in the denominator as 0 plus j omega, correct na, into 0 plus j omega, correct na. Then only it will be j omega square. So what is the angle for 0 plus j omega? Tan inverse infinity, correct na. Omega by 0 means infinity. Again plus na, product means it will be plus na, so tan inverse again infinity. What is tan inverse infinity, my dear? Tan inverse infinity means sin 90 by cos 90. 90 na, so 90 plus 90. So it will be 180 degree. Denominator it will be 180, my dear. So taking to numerator it will be minus 180. So once you saw j omega means the angle will be 90. And j omega square means angle will be minus 180 to the denominator. J omega q means minus 270. J omega 4 means again 360 or 0. So minus tan inverse omega by 2 minus tan inverse omega by 3. So this much will be the angle, my dear. This much will be the angle. Is it clear? Is it clear? Tan inverse omega, when is tan inverse omega by 2, when is tan inverse omega by minus 180. Okay, so now at omega equal to 0, what happens? What will be the magnitude? Omega equal to 0, my dear. It will be root of 1 plus 0 square whole divided by 0, na? It will be 0, na? So 0 root of anything. Root of anything means 1 by 0 means it is simply but infinity. Simply but infinity. And what will be phase angle phi, my dear? Phi will be at omega equal to 0. Tan inverse 0 minus 180 minus tan inverse 0 minus tan inverse 0. One tan inverse and another goes on. So minus 180 minus tan inverse 0 is nothing but what? Sin 0 by cos 0 is 1. Correct. Sin 0. So simply 0. So minus 180 degree only. Minus 180 degree only. So this can be represented by magnitude m angle phi will be equal to what, my dear? Infinity angle minus 180 degree. Infinity angle minus 180. And at omega equal to infinity, what happens at omega to infinity? What will be the magnitude, my dear? Magnitude will be 1 plus omega infinity square divided by more power of infinity in denominator. So something by infinity will be 0. No need to calculate. Phi will be equal to what? Tan inverse infinity minus 180 minus tan inverse infinity minus tan inverse infinity. So one tan inverse and infinity, another tan inverse gone. Simply minus 180. What is tan inverse infinity? Linear sin 90 by cos 90. So 90. So it will become minus 270 degree. So it can be right like 0 angle minus 270 degree. 0 angle minus 270 degree. Okay. Next step is what, my dears? We have to know the starting and end direction. We have to know the starting direction and end direction. Sorry. Starting direction. How can we know the starting direction, my dear? Here also, poles at the origin, poles at the origin or zeros at the origin need not be considered. So again, the zeros are near to the origin. So it will be, starting direction will be what, my dear? Since 0 near to origin, starting direction will be what? Anti-clockwise. Anti-clockwise. Okay. And what is the ending direction? What is the ending direction, my dear? For finding the ending direction, this angle is minus 180 minus this angle is minus 270. So the answer will be again plus 90, correct na? So it will be, so ending direction will be clockwise. Ending direction will be what, my dear? Clockwise. Because it is positive angle. For positive angle, it will be clockwise. So what will be our plot, my dear? What will be our plot? 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 0, 90, 180, 270. What's the time now? Yes. And 0, minus 90, minus 180 and minus 270. So this is the angle term, my dear, angle axis. And what is the starting direction means you have to anti-clockwise you can start. At omega equal to 0, what happened, my dear? The magnitude is infinity and angle is 180. So angle is 180, minus 180, my dear. Minus 180, where it comes? Yes, from here it can come. Infinity means it started from anywhere. Infinity it started from, so that's why the straight line initially first. And it is in clockwise direction, anti-clockwise direction. So I can write like, okay, and what will be in the ending direction, it is clockwise, and it will be end with 0 angle and minus 270. Correct na? 0 angle and minus 270 means, my dear, 0 angle and 0 magnitude and minus 270, it will be end. It will be end. It will be end. So 0 magnitude, correct? So it will be end with 0. Minus 270, it should end. Correct? Minus 270 means what? Here it should be end. In this axis it should be end like this. So can I draw? Yes. Can I draw like this, my dear? So anti-clockwise direction. It should be end like minus 270. 0. There need not be any crossing point, my dear. Listen. Now see the figure. Correct. So the starting direction will be anti-clockwise now. So anti-clockwise. So anti-clockwise, and ending direction will be clockwise. Correct. Ending direction will be clockwise. See, this will be the polar plot. This will be the polar plot. Okay. Is it clear? Is it clear? Okay, my dear. So that's all. That's all about the polar plot. Again, you have to find the cutting point, my dears. Cutting point. How can we find the cutting point again? How can we find the cutting point? Let's see. Cutting point. What was the step for finding cutting point? Draw the GH. DH was nothing but s plus 1 divided by what dear? J omega square, or simply s square na? S square into s plus 2 into s plus 3. Am I correct, my dears? Yes. So expand it. S plus 1 now divided by s square into s square plus 2s plus 3s. Correct na? S square plus 3s plus 2s plus 6. So it will become s plus 1 whole divided by s square into s square plus 5s plus 6. Correct? Correct, my dears? S square divided by s square plus 5s plus 6. Okay. So substitute is, put s is equal to j omega. What's the time now? Let me check. S equal to j omega, it will become what, my dear? GH will be equal to 1 plus j omega whole divided by j omega square into j omega square plus 5 into j omega plus 6. Correct? It will become 1 plus j omega whole divided. What is j omega square, my dear? Minus omega square. Correct na? Into j omega square is again minus omega square, because j square equal to minus 1 na? Plus 5 j omega plus 6. So it will become 1 plus j omega whole divided by minus omega square. Keep it there outside. Simply this one, it will become 6 minus omega square plus 5 into j omega. Correct, my dear? Plus 5 into j omega. So multiply it with this 6 omega square is real, right? So keep it there. So 6 minus omega square minus 5 j omega divided by 6 minus j omega, 6 minus omega square plus 5 j omega. Sorry, minus 5 j omega. Both in numerator and denominator, it's conjugate. So it will become, my dear, 1 plus j omega into 6 minus omega square 6 minus omega square minus 5j omega. Am I right? Minus 5j omega whole divided by minus omega square. Keep there, no problem. Into a square minus b square. 6 minus omega square, the whole square, my dear. Minus b square again, plus it will become 25 omega square. Correct? Is it correct, my dear? Is it correct? So it will become the numerator minus 1 by omega square into 1 plus j omega into, okay, 6 minus omega square. So expand it. So it will become 6 minus omega square minus 5j omega, okay, my dear, plus 6j omega minus j omega cube plus 5 omega square whole divided by minus omega square into 6 minus omega square, the whole square plus 25 omega square. So again at the cutting point, imaginary g of h will be equal to 0, which implies, my dear, 6 minus omega square plus 5 omega square equal to 0, or 6 plus 4 omega square equal to 0. Am I correct? 6 plus 4 omega square equal to 0. So imaginary part 0, right? Imaginary part 0. So imaginary part means what? Which implies imaginary term. Take the imaginary term. Minus 5 omega plus 6 omega minus omega cube equal to 0. So simply omega minus omega cube equal to 0, or again omega into 1 minus omega square equal to 0, or omega equal to 0, or 1 minus omega square equal to 0, or omega square equal to 1, omega equal to plus or minus 1. Again the same thing will happen. So the only possibility is again omega equal to 1. So what is the real value then? Substitute omega equal to 1 this is equation. So cutting point will be cutting point. How can we find the cutting point? Substitute omega equal to 1 in real part of GH. So it will become cutting point equal to what? 6 minus omega square plus 5 omega square whole divided by minus omega square into 6 minus omega square. All are real part na? Plus 25 omega square. So it will become what? 6 minus 1 plus 5 whole divided by minus 1 into 6 minus 1 plus 25. So it will become what? 6 6 10 10 divided by minus 1 into 25, 31 minus 30. So it will simply minus 1 by 3. It will simply what, my dear? Minus 1 by okay, the whole square is there, my dear. Sorry, square is there. So it will become minus 1 into 25 na? 6 minus 5, 25 plus 25. So it will become simply 10 by 50. So 1 by 5. Minus 1 by 5. Okay, so this point will be minus 1 by 5. See, that's all about the question, my dear. Please observe it. If you feel any difficulty, anywhere, please mention in the comment section, or personally you can text to my number. No worry. Okay, so that's all about the question, my dear. It's a very, very deep concept, my dear. It's very, very difficult to understand. So please revise it 2-3 times, then only it will be very, very clear to you. Okay, not just for one, no, 2-3 times you revise the same thing, it will be very clear to you. Okay, thank you so much.